And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Day. My name is Ron Foster and I'm touching base with you as I do every day. Man, it's day three. It was the day after three of the DNC convention. That's what we're going to be talking about today. That is our subject for today. We had an amazing subject yesterday. If you did not if you were not here or you did not see the video as of yet on YouTube, just make sure you go to DNC. Just look for Touch Base Daily, Ron Lewis photos. It'll come up. DNC 3, sorry, DNC 2 for yesterday, but now today is DNC 3. So we're talking all this amazing stuff. I see there's some folks in the building early. Hannah, should I tell them? Hannah is the first person in the building. Good morning, Ron. Welcome to a new day. And this is an inside joke because I'm going to let you guys know. I was up. I think I must have turned over, got up or something at 2 o'clock in the morning. And who was online? Hannah. And I said, Hannah, you're up early. And she said, no, I haven't been to sleep yet. And I was like, I am going to go to bed. I was packing and getting ready because after I finished this with you guys, I'm heading to the airport. So just want to make sure I was able to check in with you all. But Hannah gets the gold medal for today because I don't know if she slept. I do not know if Hannah slept. So Aya's in the building. She says, good grand rising, Hannah, everyone, RLP, grand rising, Ron. And I love this. Aya says, thank you, Joe, Bill, Hakeem, Oprah, Wes, Keenan, Hakeem Jeffries, House Minority Leader strategize on Sunday, meet the moment on Monday, take it to him on Tuesday, work it on Wednesday. Y'all know what he's talking about. Thank you, Aya, for that. That was so cool. That is really good. And then, she continues it. She says, thank the Lord on Thursday, fight the power on Friday, set it off on Saturday, get a few hours of sleep, wake up the next day, and do it all over again until joy, yes, joy, one more time, joy comes in the morning. Oh, Aya, thank you. Thank you. What a way to open up this morning. Love it. Quoting Representative Hakeem Jeffries. And for y'all don't, so you guys know, Hakeem Jeffries, but he changed districts this year, but he was my congressman for 8 years. Has it been 8 years? Or maybe it's been 9 years. He was my congressman. And I had the opportunity to photograph him several times. So I am a big fan of Hakeem Jeffries. And I see Brian is in the building. He says, don't count the lies, count the eyes. And that's from Clinton. Look at you guys quoting y'all quoting the quotes from last night. You're already, this community is amazing. Who could stop this community? Jazzy says, good morning, everyone, Ron. Jay says, good morning, everyone. Hannah says, good morning. I see Gwendolyn's in the back room. Her device is not connected. We'll get back here. Gwendolyn is in the back room, but good morning, Gwendolyn. Omar is in the building. What's going, Omar? You are here. Girls Club is in the building. Girls Club Inc. is in the building. Omar says, I'm sorry, I missed yesterday's broadcast. I had an early start yesterday. Hey, no apology necessary. I'm here every day. But that's why we have YouTube, because you can always do the replay. So, no apologies necessary when you miss. I'm not the school teacher. Maybe some days I may say, where is that note? Where is your note for being late or absent? Okay, Hannah says, I did. She went to sleep. Anna did go to sleep, y'all. She did go to sleep. And Elise says, good morning, everyone. She's in the back room as well. And we're gonna bring our folks on in a moment. I just want to make sure I get to the hellos. You know, I have this moment of time with you guys saying hello is special. I like going through the list and saying hello individually. it's important. It is one of the things that I think that makes us unique here is that we get to talk and say good morning because we're a community. Okay, because you're not my audience. You are my community. Bryson's in the building. What's up, Ron? What's up, RLP fam? What's up, CQ fam? Welcome. The hangover of DNC, and this is the grand finale. Is tonight. I'm praying that my flight is not late. I'm hoping that I can just get in, get home, and be on and ready for the convention tonight. Say good morning to everyone. Good morning. I see all the good mornings. Any new? Oh, hey, Chris R is in the building. Good morning, Chris. And I am Miss Reese is in the building. She says good morning, RLP cousins. There you go. Okay, and the Girls Club says we could really have a Black woman president with a Black Speaker of the House at the same damn time. It's possible. It's possible. And then Ellie says, good. Love the good mornings. Love the good mornings, right? It's so proper to say good morning to folks. It is. It is. Okay. I see in here. Let me bring my ladies up. My ladies are here. Chris, I think Chris is out today. Chris may be out today. We'll see. I think he might pop on. He may not. So we'll see. But Jazzy Jazz in the building. Let me bring Elise on. What's going on, Elise? Good morning. Good morning, Gwendolyn.
Good morning.
Oh, man.
How are you ladies doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? You get some rest?
I had interrupted sleep, but I am so happy. This family time was needed. I love my son to death. I mean, he's everything to me. So it was just so beautiful to be with him and his wife Nancy and my brother Kevin and his wife Sylvia. She's my other sister. And it was just really good. And and can I not forget my nephew, my little nephew. He is awesome. Yes, I'm Ronald.
Family is everything, right?
He's a Ron with the A. Aaron. Aaron.
Ooh. Oh, Aaron.
Aaron.
Yes, he's Aaron. He's Aaron. So yeah, let me pop this little thing off the screen so you can see me. And let me get all my little aesthetics here on the screen ready for us to have our conversation. Man, that rally last night was so good.
It was great.
Oh, Elise, I'm gonna let you go first. Elise, what was your takeaway? What was your favorite moment of the night? And then Gwendolyn, you're next. You're next up. And then Brian is in the background, so we're gonna bring Brian on as well.
So when we talk about moments and not necessarily what people said, probably my favorite moment is a moment that a lot of people have been showing online, and that's when with Walls' family and his son Gus. You know,
yes,
how excited he was, and just to learn a little bit about Gus and know, you know, that's a lot. That's like he was in that space with a lot of people, and he was able to be there, and how much he loved and how much he loves his family. That's the part that was probably the moment that was the most touching for me. Not what people were saying, but just that family and just seeing that family person. Because I think that's so important to people, that they see that these are families.
Yeah.
And no matter how they got their children, they were able to get them, and they had to use some fertility technology to be able to have their children.
Technology. They needed science,
right? And so I think those were the critical moments, and just to hear how many people over time, just to see how many people have said that they had to use technology, you know, the science to help them have children. I think that was just so memorable. And of course, there were so many exciting moments. Yeah, Stevie Wonder on stage.
Anyway,
and of course, you know,
I was like,
And of course, you had Oprah and her, and I, it made when she spoke, it made me think about you, Ron.
What about it?
Because she spoke from the perspective of I'm an independent.
Yes.
That's
I'm
right.
talking to those people who are like me. And I think
That's
it's
right.
critical to have all voices in the room. And I think they've done a very good job of getting all voices in the room.
You know the room that before Gwendolyn speaks, one of the it was governor. Oh, here it is. I put it here. It was Governor Georgia Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, who is as Republican and conservative as all people, and he says, he's first of all he's voting for Harris, but he says I disagree with her on policy, but if you vote for Kamala Harris, doesn't make you a Democrat. It makes you a patriot.
Yes.
And I think people like him allows Republicans that have the title Republican, that go with the name, that are always so allegiance to the Republican Party, to realize what's more important. And you will notice also that the whole campaign, even though when we first started this journey to election 2024, we were saying it's about saving democracy, saving democracy, saving democracy. You notice that you don't really hear that in this whole gathering over the last 3 days. The last 3 days has always been about being a patriot, breaking it down, like Brian always likes to say, breaking it down into a term that people can relate to. And democracy, and I love that a commentator said, because I dug, that's the reason why I was up late last night also, but is that one of the commentators said, the word democracy does not have the same meaning for everyone in the United States. For some, democracy does not have a positive picture, because democracy has not always served everyone equally. And so bringing it down to where we are, we're Republicans, we're independents, we are Democrats, for those basic terms. But at the end of the day, the overall umbrella is that we're all patriots. We're patriotic to our country, to our common man. And the other theme that's been all week, but Mr. Waltz always brings it home on neighborly. We are our neighbors' keepers.
Right.
We are our neighbors' support system. We don't have to agree with them, but that's my neighbor. Yeah. So anyway, Gwendolyn, go ahead. Share your thoughts from last night.
Well, that's a good segue, because I had a conversation with a fellow friend some time ago, and we were talking about those who are politically homeless, people who don't see themselves Democrats, don't see themselves as Republicans, so they're really independent, but they can't determine where they ought to go. And I felt like Oprah's, like, I vote based on value, right? Because the whole idea of this party, that party, if you take all that out and just look at what you value and what you stand for, then that will typically lead you to the right person to vote for. Having said that, seeing the video of January 6th coupled with the words from the former president, I sat there and I thought to myself, I don't know how any person, any human, because we are visual animals, and watch that video, know what happened, 9 people losing their lives, and hear those words and think that that was, 1, peaceful, and that 2, this is the world that we want to live in. That this is how we see, moving from one person to another. Like, that if that wasn't white privilege on full display, I don't mind saying it, had it been any other ethnicity, race, creed, what have you, they would still be wiping blood off the steps today, right? So looking at that, I thought to myself, Americans have short memories. We love amnesia. We're like,
Yeah.
it was great in those 4 years. It's like, are you sure
Yes.
about that? Because that's not how I remember it. Like, I'm not so sure that we had the exact same experience. But when you look at January 6th, I can't think of any person who would walk away from that and say, it wasn't that bad. If
Right.
that is you, God bless you, because everybody's entitled to like their own.
Right.
But that struck me, and it's a great time to remind people that if this is the way you want to go, this is what you're going to get. Like that's guaranteed, because that was a test run.
Yes.
Yes.
That was the test run. That was the test run. Hey, Mr. B, welcome aboard. How you doing, sir? You're in your home, so now we got good reception today. I'm gonna pick on you, but because I love you so much.
I'm on
What's
Wi-Fi.
up, B?
Shout out.
What are your takeaways? What did you like most? I should say. We got lots of takeaways.
Yeah, I just echo Gus. That had me bawling.
Did you cry? Did it make you cry?
I've been bawling. I've been crying every day of this DNC. And I'm fine with that. That is to me, I never, as an adult, I still cannot understand the whole wear your heart on your sleeve thing. I'm just me. I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm comfortable with my feelings. I teach that to my kids, and that struck a chord with me. He, like, that's my dad.
He was so excited. We were like, Adrian and I were looking at each other. We're like, this is going to be a meme. We were like, immediately, we're like, this is going to be a meme. It's just no way. And guess what? As soon as Adrian went on and he texted, I think he went to Twitter, and there he was.
But I will just a couple of, and then I'll couple of things that stood out like broadly. I looked at last night. To me, this week has been, if anybody, I haven't been on one of these in a while, but a roller coaster. But it's been a good roller coaster. But if you recall, if anyone's ever been on a roller coaster, you're oh my God, and then you get this and then there's another one, but somewhere in there's a little lull as you gather your breath, but it's slowly ramping back up for the big one.
That's right. Today's the crescendo.
Yeah, and that's what
for all you music lovers, that the musical term is the crescendo.
So that's what struck out. That's how it was just, to me, it was just as impactful as night 2 and 1, but in a but in a parallel. It wasn't as impactful as like being on 12, but it was impactful to for me, I'll speak for myself, to my heart. It felt cathartic. The words that were shared from Hakeem to President Clinton. But the things that I walk away from last night was that was America. And to me, that the embodiment of Tim Walz, and not anointing him for sainthood, but him, Hakeem, the men, to me, that was masculinity. That's the man that I feel, that I am. I just because I cry, don't get it twisted that if you wrong me, I'm gonna whip your, that's on display there. And that was strength, not the hyperbole on the other side.
Yeah, it was another what was also beautiful about last night, and again, painting a true contrast between the Republicans and the Democrat. And that one was, here we go. I'm gonna put this up here. Here we go. freedom and
Mhm.
joy.
Enjoy. Right.
Freedom and joy. That was last night. Everything was about freedom and joy, and everyone kept hammering the message. Did they get the emails? They got the emails. Did they get the memos? They got the memos. Did they get
Absolutely.
the bullhorn? They got it. They heard it. They knew it. They got the message. They were on message. It was all about freedom and joy, and every single person got up and talked about one or the other, or the two of them combined.
Right.
And I love that because I also think about like, for instance, I think it was Shapiro. What is it Shapiro said? And he was talking about the Republicans do not offer freedom because what? They want to get rid of your books. Parents should have the right to have the children should be able to read, to have the freedom to read whatever book they want. Women should have the right to the freedom of their bodies. Freedom. And they did. I mean, these are basic terms that we all can identify with.
They made it plain.
Who doesn't want freedom?
Make it plain. Just make it plain. And
they did. Yeah.
Who doesn't want joy? Right. Said.
And they kept that plain, and they also made sure the other thing that they mentioned constantly, and you've been hearing it all 3 days, is that we're all Americans.
Yes.
We're all one. We're unified, and you constantly hear them talk about the diversity of the people in the room. And I think last night's platform, of course, showed you that diversity. You had the Democrats, you had the Independent, and you had a Republican who was able to speak on stage. And I'm sure, he probably getting all types of hate mails a day. And
they got, listen to him.
He stepped out there, right? And he said it.
But
he said it before. He said, if they ask me, I'll speak. And so they reached out and he spoke. And I think that inclusivity is one thing that they keep going in order for, and the message along with the freedom is that to achieve that freedom, we all must work together. We have to be inclusive, and we work together. And I think when we go back to Walz and his speech, when he said, no, this is the time, this is the part that you record and send to your people that have been asking, what are the policies? What are they going to do? This is the time you send, this is what you want to send to all the message you want to give them. And I think it was important because just like all of us, we hear it all the time. What's the policy? What's the policy? Even though they're constantly saying things, he said, let's make it clear. These are the things. This is what you'll get if you choose this team to be your president and vice president. I think that was great on his part, and just the call to action and what we have to do, which has been consistent every night.
Okay, so speaking of folks calling to action, what did y'all think about Mr. President Bill Clinton? I mean,
he still got it.
You can tell he's aging. One is he still got it, but he's aging, but he still has it.
Yeah.
I got a soft spot. Bill Clinton's the first presidential campaign I volunteered on locally back in Cleveland. And man, gosh, I rewatched this morning. I've been rewatching them after, watch them live, which if you got the time, I encourage you catch stuff that you may have missed in the moment. And but really, I don't know, I'm in my feels about last night, but what struck a chord with me was that I saw a person, a former president, who recognizes his mortality.
Right.
And in a short, maybe it's me going too deep, but when he spoke of what we do now and future generations, your kids, your grandkids.
It's gonna be your granddaughter. It's gonna be your daughter. It's gonna be your granddaughter. It's gonna be your great granddaughter. It's gonna be your kids. It's your grandkids. It's going to affect all the decision you make today, the decision we create, the environment we work towards today is going to affect so many more generations.
I mean,
Absolutely.
his health. Anybody, if there's people watching who are younger, like, and I'm glad his self-deprecating humor, because those of us who remember, he was a president. Bill Clinton, like that
Bill was the
that
man.
brother. McDonald's
Bill was the
friend.
man.
Saxophone and all.
Saxophone and burgers.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'll
And that's a part of it's like knowing when he said, you know, here he is, he's 78 years old, he's still younger than Donald Trump.
That's right.
And I was like, oh, he's 78. I mean, I was
Yeah,
like,
he's
really? He's
78.
78? I was like, okay, Bill.
And
I
he-
appreciate. Oh, go ahead, Miss Lise.
And the fact that he, you know, one of the pieces in there, you know, he's had his health crisis, his heart stuff, things going with his heart.
Yes.
But he also, you know, for him to, I think he spoke from that place of, I am the oldest living male in my family, and understanding the weight that he has for the future, then what and how we need to look at and get this right. And I know for some people, what's right? Well, right is being able to have that freedom. Right is being able to experience joy and not being really ridiculed because you smile. You know, those types of things. Right, you know, and that's that joy. You have the right to joy, you have the right to happiness, you have right to choose. And I think that's the theme that kept coming up. But with him, you know, because my daughter was like, what's going on? I said, but you know, he survived like a quadruple bypass or something. But so because of his heart, probably all those burgers from McDonald's. But
and those burgers.
Right.
He used to eat those burgers.
He loved McDonald's.
He became vegan, but now he's a vegan. He's been a vegan for years.
Right, he's a vegan. Now. He says that's what he believes saved his life, was becoming vegan. But so I think that's what his role was. That's what he made it really clear, and he made clear that the person on the other side is not running for the we. He said, listen to the eyes. He said, stop counting. Count the eyes.
Don't count the lies.
Count the eyes. How many times does it say I?
That was really good. I always love those the one-liners that are so profound.
I was beyond adding that one. I also appreciate that he was trying to explain how, again, this president is obsessed with Hannibal Lecter. Like, I don't understand it either. I don't get it. Like, this is not a real person, and yet he keeps bringing him up. And I thought to myself, okay, so it's not just me. Even Bill Clinton is trying to figure it out. So I thought, okay, I'm in good company. But he did mention, he said he's like a tenor. He's in the backstage with me. And I thought, okay, perfect. I was like, okay, I got it.
It was so good. I mean, like I said, again, what was also cool about last night is the Democrats. Let me just put this up here. The Democrats defined themselves. They took away titles that used to be Republican thoughts and philosophy, like the family. Family was the Republicans' word. Freedom was a Republican word. Patriotic was a Republican word. Chanting USA is a Republican, aura of that's historically been what those symbols represent, and they took the time to define themselves, and so on so many levels. And Oprah was good. Jeff, obviously, Hakeem Jeffries was great. I love that. If you're late to the program or this conversation, you can check out what our girl in here talk that she shared it this morning. She broke it down in the chat. I got to copy it down and write and put it on the side, but she wrote it down. I had to go there. I have to go back to it. And that was so good. That was so good. Hakeem Jeffries, House Minority Leader Strategies, strategize on Sunday. Meet the moment on Monday. Take it on Tuesday. Work it out on Wednesday, and then thank the Lord on Thursday, fight the power on Friday, and set it off on Saturday. Get a few hours of sleep, wake up the next day, and do it all over again until joy, joy, joy comes in the morning. I
So
mean,
true.
Hakeem, I was telling him, the family were all gathered, and I was like, Hakeem does not talk without his hands. His hands like da 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 da. He's like orchestrating a orchestra, and with his hands as he speaks, and it's always like interesting. But he also comes up with these amazing like poetry speaking, or
Yeah.
that gives you
It,
these like when he did the State of the Union,
mm,
when he was speaking at the State of the Union, and how he went through the alphabet. A is this, a B for this in the morning, C for in the afternoon, E. He went straight through all the alphabet, all the from A to Z, with words of inspiration and encouragement. So the Democrats are, you know, I used to laugh at the Democrats with good reason. The Democrats used to be the weak party. The Democrats used to be the ones that flounder and could never really stand for what they believed. And this week has been an amazing turning of the page of the continual changing of the Democrat Party. I
yeah.
mean, it was spotless. They were spot on every day this week.
Can I give
They learn.
Every day.
a parallel,
They
or
learned.
it reminds me. So one of the things I've been doing for past several months, I've been rewatching clips of one of my favorite shows, The West Wing, and it reminds me.
I'm going back to the West Wing also.
Oh,
Go ahead,
so
buddy.
it reminds me, like, I'm in the last season of it now, season 7 of The West Wing, but how the Democratic Party has been this week, because what you're hitting upon, they're taking a lot of historical Republican icons and narratives and
Absolutely.
taking it, and it's theirs, it's ours, and it reminds me
Yes.
of Donna Moss's character in The West Wing, where like season 1, Donna Moss was like she kind of stumbled into being an administrative assistant to Josh Lyman. By the end, she was unsure of herself. She had it, but she was unsure of herself, and her character arc,
Yes.
her growth to the final season of West Wing, she ends up being the chief of staff to the new first lady, who she didn't finish college. Talk about a character arc, or the character growth, that arc. That's what it reminds me. I know it's probably weird, but in my mind, it's like the DNC, the Democratic Party, has had this character growth, this arc, where, listen, be okay. It's okay for you as a party to be inclusive. Stand on that.
Mhm.
It's okay for you to say, yes, we do believe in families. Even now, I'm about to sound like our future vice president. Even if your family across the street doesn't look like mine, that's still a family.
Right.
The character arc, the growth, and it's clear to me when you hold that up next to what you saw, a month ago, or whenever the RNC was. It still baffles me how anyone, even Stevie Wonder, can see that there's a difference. And I mean, I don't see
I
how
I I love Mr. B. I love that. For instance, like what you're saying about the home. I
Mhm.
mean, what was really good about the Democrats in this cycle is that they have totally taken all of these symbols and made it their own. And not only that, anything that they would be judged by, they've said, you know what? Okay, we got that. We're just going to take it and use it. For instance, like for instance, with Golden Rule, mind your own damn business from Tim Walz. I love when he says it.
Right.
He says it with such
Does.
conviction. It's just so
He means that.
Yeah.
say it. It never gets old when he says it. It's like fresh manna every morning. Every time he says it. But and also about respecting your neighbor's choices. Respect your neighbor's choices. And that takes us back also what Obama was sharing, is that we can't make, as much as we can't understand why these folks are voting for Trump, at the end of the day, they are still our neighbors. And we have to find a way to take, I want to say that take the high ground, because but maybe a more better word to say is be understanding of who they are, and just simply that's who they are. It's like that neighbor that you say, oh, in my case, Mrs. Hill is so nosy, but she's a good woman.
Yeah, she's
That's
a
Gladys.
Mrs. Hill with
I'm a Gladys in my neighborhood because I keep my eyes open.
Door, Mrs.
That's right.
went up.
I am always looking.
She's like my grandmother. My grandmother who had the clothespin holding the shade up so she could look out the window at night. But what I want to say about what's happening, what I feel happens with the Democrats, they finally got on the chessboard.
Yes.
They finally got on the chessboard, and the most important piece to protect on there is that Black queen.
Yes.
And so they're on the chessboard because they know they got to protect. They got to get Kamala where we need her to be, because if we want to win, we got to use their strategy. We got to use the words that people connect with. They connect to patriot. They connect to USA. They connect to freedom. They connect to all of those things.
Yes.
And then all of them constantly talking about the rights of workers to be able to choose how they want it, whether or not they want to unionize or not unionize. I think that's very important for people to pay attention to how they're using it. I think they finally have some people in the back room that's helping them when they're strategizing to be consistent. So you look at, even when you look at Barack Obama's and Michelle Obama's speeches, they were so connected. The escalator was in there. All of them. The hope was there. Everything they connected, that you could tell, look, you got your spin, I got my spin, but this is what we're gonna give to the people. And I think it's so critical that they've now decided that they have to play a game. It may feel cleaner, but it's just as competitive. And I think that's where the Democratic Party is now. And then listening to people, other voices who said you can't always sit back. And my girlfriend used to do this great analogy about T cells and what happens like in HIV, and that they don't have a leader. She said you're just wandering around and just bumping into each other. Now they have some lead. You can tell there's some structure in there. As you said, everybody got an email on what you do and what you say. Now, last thing I want to say, with Tim Walz's quote, I used to tell my daughter this when she was small. There's a verse in 1 Thessalonians 4:11 that tells you to mind your business. It actually tells you to mind your own business. It's
mind your own business.
1 Thessalonians 4:11. I used to tell her all the time when she was little.
So we know now that's also the word. We know that's the word of God.
Look at in the book.
I want to add in the girls' club she literally said exactly what I am thinking. I just believe that they are at a place where it is a changing of the guard.
Yes.
Yeah. There are two different ways that people live. Now, I'm Gen X. Gen X, we are, in my opinion, we some fighters, because I'm going to fight somebody first and then I'm going to think about running afterwards. But I'm just saying. But you have Gen X and Gen Z, and then all the younger people, and the way that, like, I came up right when women got the right to have their own money. So I have these two different programs going on, but the people after me have a completely different program. They were not truly taught to not brag and not boast. They are going to come out, say exactly what they need to say, sometimes with a little bit more graciousness, sometimes not. And we are seeing that in how things are being presented. It is a changing
Yeah.
of the guard. This whole deal of, well, we have decorum and we're not going to say. Jasmine Crockett like, look, I got something for you. Right?
I got
AOC
something
is
to
like, I'm
say.
going to tell you what the real deal is. So you have different leaders coming up that are not
Yes.
as meek and mild. They are kicking down the doors. I am here for it.
Yes, I
Yes.
agree. Also, another area I loved a lot last night is Dems on immigration and border. They were like, we're owning up, but guess what? They mapped out exactly what happened when it came to that bill, and it brought out the people, mentioned the names, all the senators, how it was led by the Republicans. The Republicans put it together. The Republicans had the main line of making sure that bill was created. And Democrats weren't, some of the Democrats weren't even on board with it, but they
Right.
got on board because they wanted to take care of that border. And that border bill offered money. It offered time limits. It offered the president's ability to be able to close the border when necessary. It offered so much. And then the orange man said, don't pass the bill. 2 days before the bill was going to pass.
And that's why I was grateful.
And the reason why, he said,
Right.
because it's going to be we want to use it in the election.
And
then on top of that, he went and said, blame it on me. He did say, blame it on me.
And it was great that they brought someone out from the border patrol to talk about that. I said, bring him out in his uniform. And he came out there in that uniform to talk about what happened. And I think that was brilliant to do it that
Powerful.
way. That was so brilliant
moment
to have that moment. And I think one of the things that with Biden bowing out, I feel that what happened is that it freed the younger people to say, now we can do some things. I think that's what happened. And I think it worked. It worked so much more powerfully than anyone, even some of the Democrats thought it would. And I think then that's where that energy is coming from. Unbeknownst to him, he freed, I'm going to use that, he gave people the freedom to do what they're doing now.
That's right. Because they said the Spanish last year, the last cycle, Trump got a lot of the Spanish vote. And now what they've seen is a big swing towards Kamala for the Spanish vote. Spanish young people, they want, like you just said, that freedom, freedom. And again, the representation of a new guard. They see their generation. They see people that they can identify with. And when you look at the RNC's convention and you look at the Democrat convention, DNC, the shades is totally different. Felicia Batten says, Oprah used John Lewis's quote, "We're all in the same boat now." And this is from when you're paraphrasing from the beginning. He says, whether you came on the boat, whether you came on the plane, wherever time you came on the boat, how you came to this, how you arrived is not the issue. The issue is that we are still all right now together on the same boat, and we all have to pedal the same direction.
Same direction.
I should say row in the same direction.
We'll be going in circles,
row
right?
in the same direction. Now, if you're in a little boat, like if you go to the park, then you pedal. But if you got to row in the same direction.
And Kamala got the endorsement from one of the oldest, who never endorsed it. It made an endorsement, one of the oldest Latino organizations in America. They said they had never endorsed a candidate. And Oprah has never been on the stage at a convention.
No, she hasn't.
Until last night.
So it is doing this thing. And before I'm going to get ready to close out because I have to get ready to leave. So this is going to be a short version. So tonight we're going to just dive into the last night of the convention. And I think we're learning so much about our country and about our fellow Americans. I am enjoying the diversity
Mm-hmm.
of all levels,
Yeah.
age, color,
Yeah.
language, ideas, ideology. It's just such a beautiful rainbow of amazing people that are coming up and sharing. And like Gwendolyn said, we're seeing the generational change.
Yeah.
Generation X and Generation Z, and they're in there.
We're
They're
in
in there.
But
They are
it-
there. I represent the end of the baby boomers. The
but
baby
it's
boomers
energizing us.
in 1964 is the end of the baby boomers. But
Well, I guess I
1965
was
is
in the
Generation
middle.
X. So we are the Generation X is now doing their thing, and now Gen Z is doing their thing. So, and the millennials are doing their thing. So watching, when they also had the young kids, they were sharing. They did an interview on, I think it was on a new NBC. They were sharing the young folks and say they were so excited. This is their first year ever to vote, and the excitement that they were feeling about being able to vote. And I remember my first time being able to vote. Can you remember when you had the opportunity to vote, how much you felt like an adult? How much you felt like I'm a big person now?
Yeah.
And there's something about being able to sign and get your name on the ballot, and then you go into that, you get that little card that says you're ready to, your voting place is such and such, and this is your first time ever voting. And so there's so many generations that this affects, and I hope that we can all really support what's going on, get out there, share, because again, and I'm glad that all of the star speakers were sharing and saying, we got all this joy, we got all this momentum, we got all this excitement.
Yeah.
But it's got to translate into work.
Yes, and
It's
vote.
got to translate into everyone telling their neighbor, helping their neighbor. Are you voted? Are you on the rolls? Check if you're on the rolls. Make sure you're on the rolls, because they've been purging all of these states.
Yeah.
Georgia's crazy. Georgia's crazy right now.
Checking
Now,
over.
Arizona
is that
too.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Arizona, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas, they're all doing the purge. So you need to make sure you are on the roll, so that way your vote will count. And Trump is already setting the stage. Well, he's setting the stage for people to go to the polls and intimidate people.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
they have their poll watchers lined up. They did that in 20. They were doing that in 2020, and people are saying, they can go. Some of them are standing out there out there armed, watching people. So they have all of that going on, and we can arrest people. They have all these things. One of the things I want to say about diversity and what you see, what we've been seeing on the stage, and what we see in the audience, and what we see as far as voters, is that the diversity, one of the biggest diversities that we probably don't look at as clearly as we need to look at it, is that every age group, I don't care if you're from 100 to whatever, every age group, every generation you can think of is included in that space and on that stage. So the stage is as inclusive, not just by beliefs and race or ethnic backgrounds, but by age. That's on that stage. And they don't believe in ageism, and constantly, and they need to keep doing that. I mean, I think that has been the beauty of it all, is that you see every age group represented.
Okay, and Gwendolyn, you get the last word today.
I get the last word.
You get the last word today.
Come on, Texas.
Come on, Texan. Come on, Texan.
You just gave me some time to think about the last.
Has the last word. I'm going to give you the last word.
Just make sure that you tune in. Obviously, I'm going to be tuning in with like Brian, with some popcorn, probably a cocktail, and I am watching on YouTube, so I don't get all that commentary. I want to see the entire convention as it is. I don't need all that other stuff in there.
That's what I've been watching the whole time.
Make sure you tune into C-SPAN
Yeah,
to get the whole thing.
I like the YouTube thing is cool. I mean, nothing against C-SPAN, but I like the YouTube thing.
Oh no, C-SPAN on YouTube. I mean, it goes through without any commercials.
Well, I'm on DNC on YouTube.
DNC.
Okay, DNC. You can do that too.
DNC,
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch on DNC.
Yeah. That's
Travel safe, Ron. Travel safe, sir. There's the last one.
And where can people find you, Brian, quickly?
Brian Young Creative on Instagram, on the social medias, and do something.
Elise, where can people find you?
It's SALIEZE _ on Instagram. And this is my new hat. This is actually mine.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
Living life, not just existing. That's my trademark.
Nice.
That's the truth. And Gwendolyn, where can people find you?
GR Houston Jack on YouTube and Black Power Buddy on Instagram. There you go.
Oh gosh. And you've been tuning in. If you've been tuning in here, and so this is a crazy crew. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. And also again, we did we've had great discussions on the day after 1, day after 2, and then our day after 3. And we'll do the same for day 4 tomorrow. So guys, make sure that you take these videos and share them with your other YouTube friends and your family and friends that want to have just another insight from just we are regular folks, but every person words matter. So share them, and the more words we hear and more thoughts that we hear in this election, it will help to make sure that Kamala is elected, and that we can be patriots and we can be fellow neighbor citizens that embrace freedom and with joy. Yes. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. Later. Love y'all all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. And
safe travels.
Safe travels. Thank you guys. Thank you all. And later.